What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. I am the Poetic Healer, and in today's video, we're going to be reading the poem Spiritually Aligned. So, you know the drill. We're going to read the lines, analyze it, and break down the deeper meaning between each sentence. Now, let's get to it. The way you perceive life is very important. You have to wash away the pain like a commercial detergent. Finding like minded people prevents personal isolation. Create your vibe to find your own universal synchronization. So many people with so many unique stories. Some have experienced their share of loss and glories. However, the individuals who still create happiness regardless always inspire the down and hopeless to truly trust the process. When you're aligned with your chakras and your higher self, you're able to possess infinite knowledge and inner wealth. Find your footprints in the sand if you want to expand. When we all fall, we should still be able to understand that it is not about winning or losing the game of existence. It's all about playing the game with love, bravery, and resilience. And that is spiritually aligned. And now it says, the way you perceive life is very important. You have to wash away the pain like a commercial detergent. So the way you perceive life, because like I've said, you're the observer. You're the observer of your mentality, your experiences, and things like that. So the more you observe these things, you have to realize what things are you here to still expand on what things do you have to wash away that no longer serve you. It's very important that you're able to observe these things and observe your experience each moment by moment and be able to analyze them and know what you need to carry on forward with and what you need to let go of. So it's very important because if you allow your perception to be perceived through pain, then you're always going to be you're going to easily block your blessings. So it's very important that you're perceiving things through the right discernment and not just one overview and one over perspective. And then it says, finding like-minded people prevents personal isolation. Create your vibe to find your own universal synchronization. So when you find like-minded people, it really helps you grow. It really helps you elevate because you don't feel alone and you feel like you can actually come as a team. And teamwork makes the dream work. So it's all about the collective. It's all about finding ways to come together to create something new and something beautiful and something more expensive that has never been done before. And then it says, create your vibe to find your own universal synchronization. So you have to understand, like I've said, what you're seeing outside of you is a reflection of what is inside you. So you are this, you are the universe. You know what I mean? Your physical makeup is the physical representation of this whole existence. It's just you have to break it down and look within yourself and your features and how it correlates to each part of nature. You know what I mean? We'll get deeper into that into my other videos and like the natures of above and the natures of below and how they correlate with the natures of your internal and your natures outside of you. So we'll break that down later on in a next video. And then it says, so yeah, create your own vibe to find your own universal synchronization. You know what I mean? Everything, what is sync? When everything's in sync, it's going in a nice flow. So for you to find your own synchronization, your universal synchronization, you have to find your own vibe. What is it about you that makes you special? What is it about you that makes you you? Not what makes you you based on other people's perception or what they try to force onto you. No, who are you as a person? When you're by yourself and you sit down and you look in the mirror and you look at your reflection, who truly are you? You know what I'm saying? And the more you can grasp that and know really who you are, then that's when you can find your universal synchronization. And then it says, so many people with so many unique stories. Some have experienced their share of loss and glories. And that's what life is all about. It's all about going through the ups and downs and through the pains and the losses and also being able to find ways to gain and also, get progress. So these are things that you're going to go through. You just want to find ways to balance it where you can get the better things more than the worst things. You know what I mean? So you are going to go through certain experiences that's going to be very hard for you, but the more you can strive to make it a bit more better and more pleasant for you, the more you can find gratitude in each day that you're living, even if you don't have everything physically. You know what I mean? But if you can find everything within you internally, then you have the gratitude. And then it says, however, the individuals who still create happiness regardless always inspire the down and hopeless to truly trust the process. So it's all about trusting the process. It's all about realizing that If you're in a current situation that you don't find yourself happy in, or you don't find yourself feeling excited in, then that's just an inclination to tell you that you have to move. Okay, you have to move in terms of progress. You have to move into a better perspective, a better environment, a better mentality, a better space of well-being. And once you do these things, that's when you can realize that the process was worth it, and you had to have that fire under, you know, your bottom, to realize that, okay, I have to do this. I have to go somewhere else and expand. So it's very important to realize these things. And then it says, when you're aligned within your chakras and your higher self, you're able to possess infinite knowledge and inner wealth. So when you're aligned within yourself, your energy, chakras is just your energy based on each location of your body. That's what it is. And your higher self is just your inner self. So the higher you go, the more inner you go. You know what I mean? And the outer you go, the more lower you go. Okay, that's why it's called gravity. So grave and gravity is in the same context, because gravity puts you down, just like when you're 6 feet down in a grave. So that's what it means. It's like you're physically condensed. You fell from a higher angle. Some people call it angles, and you fall down into a physical form, and things are condensed. It's just like when you have a mentality and you make it into reality. Like, let's say you have a vision. You're like, oh, I want to create this business. Let's say a movie business. You want to create a movie business. And when you create this movie business, that's you low key practicing the spiritual science of bringing a higher angle or a fallen angel into reality. Okay, you're bringing something of a higher thought into this physical reality. So we're doing this every single day. So when you hear certain phrases and terms, try to break down what it truly means and analyze it to its greater perspective before you realize what you're talking about. And then it says, yeah, find yeah. When you're aligned with your chakras and your higher self, you're able to possess infinite knowledge and inner wealth. So that's where the inner wealth is. That's where the real true wealth is first. Having wisdom and knowledge through your experiences and being able to apply that in your actions. And once you do these things, that's when you can gain the physical aspects of wealth. So everything is a trinity form. It starts first with the soul, and then you get inspired with the mind, aka inspired, inspiral, the fire within you, and then you bring it out into the physical world, and then everyone else can bear witness to that. And then it says, yes, find your footprints in the sand if you want to expand. When we all fall, we should still be able to understand. So when you find the footprints in the sand, it's aka diving within yourself. So if you've heard about the Akashic records, if you're into the Kabbalah and things like that, you realize that the Akashic record is just records of things that you have within yourself. It's just memories that you have within yourself. Now, how are you able to collect and analyze these memories, you might ask me? So you have to realize it like this: your characteristics and the way you think and the way you perceive life is your Akashic record. It's things that you have added to your soul experiences. And once you add these things to your soul and your experiences, you have a memory of these characteristics within you. You know what I mean? So you bring this with you throughout your all your lifetimes. You have to realize these things. So these are energies that is within you. Because if you realize, let's say like you like to do things in your own way, like you like to be isolated and do things in your own way, instead of being around the crowd and being mixed and mingly all the time. That is something that you brought from your previous life into a personality trait and into a characteristic trait that you can utilize now for your own experience that you're having currently right now. So these are things, that's why we all have our own unique characteristics and our own unique abilities. And these are things that we brought from our previous life into this current one. And sometimes you can let go of these abilities. If you don't give it energy, it can lay dormant, or you can give it energy, whether for good or for worse. But these are things that we bring with us. And then it says, yeah, find your footprints in the sand. If you want to expand, we all fall short, but we should still be able to understand. So keyword understand. So you still have to be able to stand even when you're under. You know what I mean? So even when you fall short, you have to find ways to still understand. Okay, get up and stand, whatever you're going through. And if you're under that, find ways to look up and find ways how you can be over that. You know what I mean? You always want to go on levels. You always want to expand and go on top. So if you're under something and you're looking up at something, you have to realize how can I able to stand up over that thing and stand over that experience in that situation or that frustration. And the more you can find ways to stand over it, the more you create mental abilities and mental capabilities and new characteristics and charismatic gifts that you can utilize for your experiences. And then it says, it's not about winning or losing the game of existence. It's all about playing the game with love, bravery, and resilience. So you're going to lose and you're going to win in many things and aspects in life. You know what I mean? It's always going to be a win and loss aspect. But when you realize that you have to play with love, aka you have to have no attachment, that's what love means. It's like you're not having an attachment. You have both aspects because love has to do with the Venus energy, right? If you're into the planets, astronomy, you know the energy, the planets have a certain energy form with it. So if you're into Venus, that's love, right? But Venus is my art, okay? It has both aspects. So if you realize that, okay, me having both aspects, aka me having the losing and the winning part of existence, right? I have to be able to control both aspects and be that force that controls both aspects. And the more you can control both aspects, utilizing the energy of love, but not love the way that you see in today's romantic society way. I'm talking about love, aka using the energy of duality. That love. I'm talking about that type of love. When you utilize the energy of duality, you know when to come into things and when to externalize and leave things alone. You know how to be balanced. And when you know how to be balanced in life, you won't have grudges and pain. Now, I'm not saying that just because you have grudges and pain currently, that doesn't mean you're not balancing your life. We're all going through the process of healing. You know, the pain of the internal is a more longer process than the pain of the external. You know what I mean? If you cut yourself, it might take a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and it might heal. But if you hurt yourself within, it might take months and it might take years and it might take decades. I can't even say the word. But you know what I'm trying to say. And you have to realize these things is that the internal is where life is at. You know what I'm saying? The external is where the exploration is at. So the internal, as long as you have that pain within you, you're always going to give life to that pain. You know, it's always going to be a pulse because that's where the pulse is within, right? Your heart is beating within. So the more you focus on that pain, it's always going to give a pulse to it. So it's always going to keep it alive. So even though you might have been healed physically, but internally you're still hurt, you're still in pain. So you have to find ways to heal that. And that's what my channel is all about. The poetic healing. It's all about finding ways to heal that long lasting pain. And once you do that, that's when you can be able to regain your power and be able to uh, first work on yourself and then be able to work on others and be able to help others and they can help each other. And then it's a teamwork makes the dream work type of thing. But yeah, it's all about playing the game with love, bravery, and resilience. So you have to be brave in your experiences. You're always going to have setbacks. You're always going to have certain situations that try to hold you back. But the more you're brave and the more you go on with it, the more you'll succeed. And the more you have resilience, the more you'll be able to proceed to your next destination. So yeah, guys, that is spiritually aligned, being aligned with your energies, aka finding your power within you, finding your capabilities, and acknowledging that and actually loving that about yourself and realizing that is your superpower. And we're all here to be superheroes and be the Horus or aka the light, physical light of our capabilities within us. So yeah, guys, that's the point for today's video. Hope you guys gained something new. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you soon.